see if there's anybody out here in the audience that has something for the landfill to say. Because we've heard the one side of it. Is there anybody that has anything to say for it? Okay, I don't see any call.
Here we go.
Everybody on it, hear me? My name is John Siegfried. You know what? There's a lot of emotion attached to this issue, but I think we should go back to basics and follow facts. I think we should give the NDEP a chance to issue the permit. I think we should give this company a chance to do business. If they can't comply with the conditions, if they can't comply with the permit, then they get shut down. They make their investment, they lose their investment, and they get shut down. And I think I've heard a lot of emotion today that talks about, well, there's a train coming through the area out there that might wreck, that might have something on it. But you know, gentlemen, we've got trains go through Winnemucca every day with stuff we know is hazardous. And so I think it's a case of the sky is falling, we don't know what we've got, but we're scared of it. We've got a potential to put in an NDE permit on a Class 1 landfill with liners in it, with supervision, that's not going to contain sewage sludge. But you know what we do in Humboldt County right now? At least until recently anyway, we would pump septic tanks and take them to the landfill and blow them on a pile, and maybe in a day or so we'd cover them up with more garbage. Maybe until recently we would take landfill sludge out and just land apply it. We land apply sludge in Humboldt County right now, and there are permitted facilities in the state that land apply raw sewage. And if you think I'm overstating this, I think we missed the boat when we look at this big out-of-town company and just take a shot at it. When right here in Humboldt County, if you want to talk about sewage sludge, we have hundreds of direct injection points into our aquifer right now as I sit here. And this is a landfill that's not going to contain sludge. It's going to have 2 liners. It's going to be in Desert Valley. And we've got geological data that says the mitigation of any spill is very minor. Well, right now, as I sit here, we directly inject a few feet from our own wells and our neighbor's well sewage. And if that's not enough, right here in the city of Winnemucca, we get notices in the newspaper and we get notices on our water bill. Hey, the water you just paid for, I'm sorry, has got fecal matter in it. And if that's not enough, we even directly inject raw sewage at some of our homes in town here. But this landfill, it's a big company from out of town that's got a lot of money. We can't give them the right to go through the permitting process, and we can't give them the right to live up to a permit that's supervised by NDEP. I think is bogus. I think you need to take the emotion out of it. You need to look at fact, and you look at bucks, and you make everybody toe the line to the same standard. I'm sorry I mentioned your nitrate problem, but I think there are bigger issues to talk about than a rail car that might wreck with something that might be hazardous in it. I think it's just misguidance when it comes to this. I think you need to give this company the right to come up and live to the standards that you set for them and that the community sets for them. And that is via the NDE permits, via the federal permits, and by their business license. And it's just real simple. Take the emotions out of it. Thank you.
San Francisco trash is sweeter than ours.
Is it your house for sale?
We're moving out of here, my brother.
For what you have to decide. I am concerned at what I just heard. You feel you're being held hostage. Can hostage people vote? Okay, I'm still very concerned as a voter in this county. If you guys feel you're being held hostage, will you make the right vote? Will you be able to sleep at night? I don't know that I could, and I don't know that many people that have been held hostage feel that way. So could you?
I want to say something. My intent that we're not, we don't feel that way. The 5 of us know where we have to go with this. We have our own opinions and stuff on it. I'm saying that's a hostage type tactic that's being used in my
I understand, I'm just asking you on the record, since that was on the record, how is that gonna hold up in court? That's all I'm asking you to think about. You don't need to comment on it at all. You guys all have your own decisions to make, and it's not an easy one. I am part of the 70% that voted against it. I want you to look me in the eyes so you know that. But the other party is, think about it. If you're being held hostage, can you make the right vote?
Herb? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Herb Florio, and I have a ranch just north of this proposed landfill. And I have some observations and some facts. Whether it will change your mind, I don't know, but I've heard some requests for facts today, and I'd like to give a few facts. One of them was that about the water environment up there. I'm very concerned as an opponent to this thing about the water. This is going to be, how is it going to be handled up there? What is our repercussions, the unintended consequences of this? It's probably going to come through the water. Not counting the birds that's going to be there. You ever been down Sacramento at the landfill they have there? They got a zillion seagulls. What's the nearest place? When I'm out there. Disease. All those things can be conjured up. But I want to stay on point. The water. We used to run cattle right in that area many years ago. We ran cattle. And I can tell you, it's not debatable, it's a fact. Water is about 3 feet below the ground level there. Coyotes dig to water there. We used to dig holes for our cattle for water just simply by digging by hand. It wouldn't be a long-term situation because it gets stagnant. There's water right under the surface. I also read the water environmental impact that somebody, Recology or whoever, done on it. They said that area never floods. I live right there. That alkali flat is underwater many, many times. What happens? I want to give you a little bit of law of physics. Water runs downhill, and it also goes down. Where's it going to go? Where's Bergen County and all this? They're going to wind up polluted and run out if this happens. It's all if. You've got to look at the unintended consequences. My friends, there are many. And some of the facts here on water has not been told completely. And I can tell you for sure that there is water right under that ground. What are you going to do when they start digging out there and hit water 7 or 8 feet? Oh, we're going to dewater it? You're going to have problems, my friends. I just want this to be said as facts. Make up your own minds.
Thank you. Okay, I have 4 more hands. That one back there keeps going up.
Gentlemen, my name is Paul Bendel. This board, in April 5th, made the decision on what everybody seems to agree were good grounds not to extend the conditional use permit for Junco. First, they tried to demonize the people. Now, they're trying to hold a lawsuit over your head to ram this thing down our throats. I sincerely hope that you're not going to let them do that to us or to you. That's all I can say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Just speak? Okay. My name is Dennis Mast. I'm a resident of Grass Valley area. All through this, I'm very confused. Everybody keeps alluding to these potential losses that we may incur as a county. And before I would play a poker hand out, I think I'd look at my cards first and muse about what the opponent's cards look like. And what I don't understand is what we owe these people. Number one, to start with, the ground zero at the very beginning of all of this. What do we owe them? And number two is what possible monetary losses could these garbage magnates have incurred without the approval of this governing body? And because apparently it has to be done with the perusal of these people that I'm looking at here. So how could we possibly lose a lawsuit? And number three, and I swore not to approach this body with any level of anger, but I'm very incensed by the fact that these people feel that they can hold Humboldt County hostage. Why should we even begin to bend to them? And I just don't think this needs to be. I don't. And there's another thing that Tommy brought up, Mr. Fransley brought up earlier, about the migration of water and his map of the aquifers. That's very good. We've heard from people that say that there is no migration of water from that aquifer to this aquifer. Well, if the ground is that watertight, why do we even need a liner? Just food for thought. Anyway, thank you.
You do realize, when you talk, none of us are engineers. So when you ask us an engineering question,
Well, I can go to my 5 acres out there and lean on my shovel and pour water in a hole and watch it migrate to another hole over a period of time. The ground's just not water.
I'm just telling you, I'm not an engineer.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. My name's Justin Lee. I used to live here and just recently moved back a couple years ago. I grew up here and I always thought it's been a great place. And I'm kind of just wanted to bring up a couple points more than anything. And I don't think that anybody in this community disagrees with what this gentleman said over here as far as bringing in business. It's just, however, the practices that we feel are going to be happening. And we just greatly disagree with it. Mr. Bell, you stated that we don't understand all of everything else that's going on. Well, I think that we would appreciate having these stipulations made public if possible. If this is going to become that big of an ordeal, I think that it's fair to the public that we understand what's going on and what we are up against. But at the same time, I personally don't feel that anyone in this room, myself included, is still against that fight, regardless of what stipulations are set forth. Thank you.